Phil here from Irish Board Gamer, and this short video is about failure, complete and utter failure. My failure, in fact, on a quest I was sent on. So, just give you a bit of background. I belong to, as you can see in the background of the screen there, Cork D&D Meetup. And as the name sounds, we usually strive to meet in person. But since the plague hit, a lot of us have been doing stuff online. And really, it sort of was an introduction over the last year to online tools, and I've played as a player on Roll20 and what other systems. I've actually DM'd on Fantasy Ground, the old Fantasy Ground, and I've been a player on the new Fantasy Ground, Unity. And really, I don't like any of them. They lock you into an ecosystem, and then it's very hard to get out of it, and it's very hard to get your content back. So on my regular stream that we used to stream on Thursdays, we're now streaming on Mondays. We have moved away from Fantasy Ground, and we're using some various different tools. We're using Owlbear Rodeo for maps and Improved Initiative for the combat tracker, and I've already done a video on Improved Initiative. I'm actually going to go back and do another one because I've found some more useful features in it. But I was talking to Mike O'Regan, who most of you will know on the Irish D&D scene. And we were talking about getting content out of these systems. It's very, very hard. You end up having to cut and paste your own adventure. I'm not talking about content you buy, that's bad enough, but when you go to the time of creating an adventure and a story and you want to get it back out, especially with views to going back into playing in the real world, you want to get your content out and you want to get your games back out of it. So we were talking about it, and we came up with a list of, we'd been talking about different applications we're using, and we hadn't really found anything suitable. So Mike suggested maybe having a look as a video what's out there. And the original plan for this was we set up 7, and I'm just going to try them onto the screen there, 7 sort of ideals that we just sort of came up with there and then on the spot. And those 7 were agnostic in that could be independent of any other system, whether you were using it for D&D 5th edition or Cthulhu or whatever other system you wanted to play. And it was easy to, and this was a key one for me, easy to export all data from it in either a clear text or a JSON or an XML type of file, so that you could get all your data back out of it relatively easily. We should have a free entry level account, and that the entry level account would allow you to have a full campaign. So you might be familiar with those who D&D Beyond. You can have a campaign and you can have all the characters in that quite easily without paying a monthly subscription. And the ability to export player PDF content. So this is if you have players, you want to send players just some parts of the content so they don't see everything. Also, between the players, there should be limited visibility of entries based on the viewer. So player A can't necessarily see the inventory of player B, that sort of thing. And one of the other things that Mike was quite keen on was, and I can see where he's coming from this one, was the ability to easily import large amount of content. So for example, you might have 5 minutes here or 10 minutes there, and you type up either in Google in a flat file format or a JSON file that you can easily populate when you get the chance, and then you can save them up and then you can upload them en masse. Improved Initiative does something like that. It lets you create character stat blocks one on one and then upload them or upload a whole load of them. And an ideal one, access the tool offline or run a local copy. I might wonder why that one would be handy. Well, the idea is if you were, say, you had all your stuff and you had an ecosystem, they say, okay, I'm not going to export all this as paper and I have everything ready to go, but I want to play it in person. I want to play it in your local meetup venue, whether it be a bar or a local shop or whatever, and you just open up the laptop and you're not having to tether your phone because there might be Wi-Fi there, or you don't want to be tethering your phone or trying to get a connection up there. You can just open it up and there's all your content there. So they were the 7 sort of ideals, the things that we could thought, if we could get all those 7, it would be brilliant in a system, in a game. So did a quick search and looked for some of the set I'd look at would be World Anvil, Chronica, Scabbard, Kanka, Campaign Logger and Tavern Keeper. They were ones that came across online. Hadn't had any experience of any of these. Mike had, I think, tried Word Anvil, but he didn't say one way or another to me before going into what he thought of it. So I started 2 weeks ago looking at these, and I created accounts in all of them. and with the exception of maybe one of them, they're all crap. They're all utter rubbish, to be honest. They're a waste of time, in my opinion. No liking for them. Can't see myself ever using them. They don't really do what they're meant to do, uh, and you'd nearly be better off bringing a filing cabinet around with you. Um, they're just first of all, none of them will let you meaningfully import data or export data. You're in their system, and that's it. Good luck in the cup. You're there forever. And a lot of these put a barrier against you that they might give you features, but then it's really hard to get your data back out of it. So you stay with it. It's like Amazon Prime. It's impossible to leave it. So they get you into their ecosystem and they lock you in. And a lot of them have punitive monthly fees if you want to do anything meaningful. Now, I didn't throw up Roll20 or I didn't look at Fantasy Ground because they were complete systems that give you mapping and give you initiative character sheets. These are for content creating. So this is your DM storyline. Some people might be using OneNote and some people are using maybe Git books or something, and it's an idea to so you don't have a lot of piece of paper. It's a single resource that you can maintain your campaign and keep track on your characters. Of course, you can use this for do D&D Beyond or Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, but they probably encounter about too much. This was just, if you like, the stripped back the DM tool set. So my original plan was to review each one of these in detail, and to be honest, I just couldn't get the interest up to do it. They're not good. I couldn't be saying anything good about them. The best of that bunch that I've found, my opinion again, and all this is in my opinion, is Kanka. I'm going to throw it up on the screen there. The reason why Kanka edges ahead on the other ones, it has its own sort of a bit of a community, is a bit community driven, and you can do an awful lot for free on it. But it suffers from what I'd say they all would suffer from, and I'm just going to throw it up onto the screen there. So this is a public campaign which I've loaded up. So you can see I have ads on mine because I'm not paying for it. So there is ads on it. And you can see down the bottom here, there's public campaigns. So you can go in, and it's a handy way to see what public campaigns are there. And Devils and Dragons. So this is one that somebody has created. And you get this dashboard, which is this here, and it also tells you what's happening in the application and that. And there are player characters, deities, monsters. So in the world in this one, man, I've just pulled this out. Let's see what they are. Here's the characters. So you can see somebody's created all these characters, and you link them. So it's a content linking tool, and you can see they've linked this character to this location of this race. So Cairn Desert, and they don't have much in there. You can see locations. So let's go back to characters here, and we'll try and put up a character that this is Goddess of the Stars. Yeah. Okay, that didn't really work well either. So what I'll do is I'll look for another public campaign that might have a bit more populated stuff in it. This one has 1,000 views, so this probably is their front runner one of it. So let's have a look at the world and see what's in the world one. So there's a bit about the world. The world of blah, blah is content of, and you can see there's a link here. So we can go into that. And there's a map. Somebody's put up a nice map there. And there's the demographics on it and characters that are living or that are associated with this place and families on it. So we'll put up this first guy, Aaron, and we'll see, it says, there's Aaron, there's a little picture of him. And he's the Dean of the Wilhelm Library. And you can see, obviously, there's a bit more information in here. And his abilities, reminders, permission denied. Obviously, that's something that I mustn't have access to. And abilities, okay, there's nothing there. Organizations in the place in this universe. So in Three Rivers Federal, there's this Black Sun Mercenaries. Presume you can go into there, and there's members, a known member, High Elf. Now this has a player view and a DM view and the likes of that. So you can, as the DM, create these worlds and have some of the information revealed. You can see there's no real sort of character sheets. There are, if I go into the characters, we'll find we'll try and find one of their main characters, location, race, type. We'll get someone that maybe has House of prayer, relations, profile, abilities. Nothing. Reminders. Oh, there we go again. Nothing. Can't. I don't. That is. There's a pay barrier on that one. Quests. So in your campaign, then you can have quests, and you can see there's a side quest here. Oh, here's the main quest. Lex Revival. Lex Revival is the main quest of the fourth story arc. Goal: bring Lex back to life. Reward: Lex lives again. And you can have notes on that. No, I can't, because yes, again, you have to pay for this. So there's stuff in there. You can link back to stuff. There's journals where you can make notes, and the players can make journal entries, and there's sessions. But the amount of work you have to put in just to fill the content here, you're essentially feeding a database, and you're just feeding it with data. And maybe that's something that you really want to do. It's something that I'm not going to spend my life doing, is building a database. Yeah, it's bad having books and your stuff in your notes, and this is a story I'm working on at the moment, and none of it's linked and whatever. But I'd rather take that down and do a sketch of a character that I think I want, or throw up a stat block of something, or sort of a mind map of where your locations are when you're watching the TV, or you're sitting out the back in the sun, and you can do that. I don't want to be sitting. Now, maybe it's because I work on a PC for a living. I don't want to be sitting down on a PC entering data in a database. That really, at the end of the day, I can't recover from the system very easily. I can't put into the system very easily. I have to be here or on my laptop, and I have to log in, and I have to do it. I'm sorry. And this is probably the best of them that I've managed to find. And yeah, sorry. I haven't been able to find any content management tool for D&D worlds that links up stuff in a nice way. And this one, you can see, is very agnostic. There is no you can upload a couple of PDF character sheets, but it doesn't really even give you that. So yeah, sorry, no, thumbs down. If anybody knows of anything that is maybe a bit better, or if you think I'm being too harsh on these, or I've got the wrong end of the stick with how you're meant to use these, then please pass a comment on it. Really would like a system that can just put in stuff easily and extract stuff easily, and stuff links visually quite easily. Maybe even if it was done like a mind map type of thing, that it was, an entity, another entity, this entity is linked that way, this entity is linked that way. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm looking for, and that's the part of the problem. But if you've had success with any of these content management tools for DMs and players, please let me know, because to me it just looks like an awful lot of work, an awful lot of pain, and an awful lot of grief for something that shouldn't be, that isn't work, that isn't is meant to be enjoyable. Okay, so if you do have any ideas, please get in touch. Be good.